is the 5 Easy piece, Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit Bomber. Today we're going to begin a build video to show you how to take the pattern I published on Mediafire and turn it into a flying plane. This is the first one that I did. It has a 58-inch wingspan, and it's 24 inches long. And I realized after I made it and checking against the actual published length and width, which is a 172-foot wingspan with a 69-foot fuse, that I was slightly off in my proportions. So I extended the wings. So if you print the plan onto a 30 by 42 inch size E1 type paper, you plot it on that, you should have a 60-inch wingspan, which is in line with proportions, because the proportions are the pattern for the 5 Easy piece B-2 Stealth Bomber. Same here. Bevel this edge, toward the inside. And this goes on very simply. We're going to change hands here with the camera. You just insert. I just kind of spread these apart slightly, let them slide over the main wing, and just slide it up into place here. The lower big tab will fit right up in there, and the upper forward tab fits down there, and voila. This is the pattern, as you can see. Now I have blown this one up, and I've got it to where it just fits, or would fit, on a 48-inch piece of foam if in fact I had a 48-inch piece of foam. But as you can see, this piece of foam, let me line this up for you so you can see this, is about 3/8 of an inch short. You cheated me by 3/8 of an inch on this bundle. So anyway, I'm going to have to fix the tip, but I got to start it out down here. Down here, I'm going to scoot this way just a little bit. There we go. Take it right to the edge. So I've got the pieces laid out here. There's the main wing. There's the nacelle. Now I've cut, when I do mine, I actually cut this nacelle piece apart so I can bevel it and put it together, and I'll show you that in a moment. This then is the upper nacelle piece. I just line it up there like that. So that's how it'll fit on a 24 by 48 piece of foam. Now you will need you'll need a total of 3 pieces, because you've got to make then 4 of the KF M4 airfoil. And so by the time you nest 4 of these on here, you're going to use another whole sheet, because it's 40-some inches long. Anyway, and as this is going to end up with a 76-inch wingspan, I've been kind of dubbing this one the Spirit of 76, or Spirit 76. I know. Anyway, so there it is laid out. Now, last night I laid the other half out. This would be the port half, and actually cut it out. As you can see, I separated the nacelle. It comes, put together like this. I went ahead and cut it apart, and I beveled the edges so that they'll make a nice, clean joint there. Not that open joint, but a nice, clean joint for aerodynamics. And here's that other piece. Now, so the fun thing, I use just a good old Sharpie to draw around this pattern onto the foam and cut it out. That way I preserve my template to make more anytime I want. Oh, let me show you. That's the problem with the wing delaminating from the multiple impacts. on my first D2. I glued the foil, KF4 foils on with just hot glue, and it really didn't hold well. In the past I've used Gorilla Glue, and that makes a really good bond. So this time I glued the foils on to the wing with the Gorilla, and I'm weighting it down. I got all three pieces there together, and once they're set up, then I'm going to glue I'm using an arrow carbon rod that's from an arrow shaft, and that'll start from the tip. In fact, I'm using the metal tip comes on that. I'm just leaving it on there and using that as at the point, and then I'll have to cut another piece and use a carbon rod to hook them together. This is a scrap piece here, not quite long enough. I think it's what's left over from when I did the other one. But anyway, to go on down the wing and make that continuous on the wing edge. So we've got the KF airfoils on both sides of the wing. We have glued and taped, beveled and then taped the wing edges. Glue, that is the carbon rods. These are arrows, actually, arrow shafts that I get from Walmart. And a number 5 or 5.3 millimeter carbon rod makes a good union piece. You slide the 5.3 rod inside the arrow shaft, some glue, and then slide the other one over the other end, and you put them together. Do the same thing here. Centered shaft, this time on top of the wing, because most of the shaft, of course, some of it's buried in the top KF airfoil, but the bulk of it is basically inside the plane. As if it was on the bottom, like I did last time, then you're in the airstream. Here, you're not. Plus, it brings this up a little higher, brings the rod being on top of the wing. When I bring the motor mount into play, I'm just going to be like that. I don't know if I like it more gluing. When that goes in, then you can see this part comes right across the top, where those top screws go through to hold the motor. So this you've got it fastened here, and then glued to the rod here. So you've got a really good solid firewall, good solid motor mount right there. So there's that. Now I've gone ahead and just taped this piece on just to show you how that goes on, but I'm going to do one here in a minute. Well, this one actually, without it, this doesn't have one. And you may have noticed that I'm doing something a little different with the controls. I've got an elevator servo, which I have installed on the underside of the wing, with then the servo itself protruding up into the nacelle. As you can see, it's there behind the arrow shaft. I'm also, you can see, doing the controls a little bit differently. I decided to do a single elevator running across, picking up this part here. It's almost like it gets a little thrust vectoring involved here with off the prop, and then the wings will have ailerons. It's smaller than the previous setup, and I'm going to run those, probably mount the servo lying down, something like this, or it would be more like this one, be like that probably, on the wing, and over to move the servo. So this would keep it equal with the motor, not behind that point anyway, for balance. So it's, like I say, it's coming along. Okay, this is the other nacelle piece. You can see it goes right there like that. Once we get it all in place, you can see though how this kind of makes a curve line. This is a curve line, and this comes up then and becomes the continuation of that KF airfoil, or looks like it is anyway, coming across the front and to butt up to the upper fuse. Now what I do with that, I used few pieces of tape to hold it together, and then I put hot glue in this joint here, and then I took my triangle actually, and I put it down here, and I taped these front corners to the triangle to hold this in a spread with that, and then added some more hot glue to keep it in this shape. Because when it's pushed down like this, this gives you the shape of the upper fuse. And so with a little bit of tape, tape out. There we go. Get that back. Get this back. Now then, you hold these corners where they meet up with the nacelles here, and I've got this notched now to go over the what do you call it? I mean, the arrow shaft. As you can see, then when I push that down, these two pieces come together. This straight line, actually beveled and fastened that way, becomes a gentle curve, a little arc, and it meets right up with the arc of that nacelle. And this all will glue and come down to that, and then you end up with that very aerodynamic shape. Get better on this side between the two. Once it's all fastened down, glue together. So anyway, you see, we're hiding then that crossbar reinforcement. That makes like a big A-frame here. Hiding that crossbar reinforcement in the KF foils, and as it crosses through the fuse, it's inside the fuse, basically. Inside the fuse and nacelle, so it's not causing any drag. So anyway, it's coming along. I don't have as you can see, I don't have all the nacelles all glued together through their tabs and slots. I just have the underfuse pan put together. But it's coming along, so let me do some more work and we'll come back.